He only wanted safety, but 3 alien women claimed him for all night. The emergency alarm screamed through the cabin as Jaren Voss fought with the control yoke, sweat pouring down his temples. His merchant vessel, the Meridian's Hope, shuddered violently as it tore through the atmosphere of the uncharted planet below. Come on, he muttered through gritted teeth, watching the altitude display plummet. The navigation system had failed 3 jumps ago, and he'd been limping through space for days trying to find any habitable world. The impact came hard. Metal shrieked against rock as the ship carved a burning trench across a violet-hued meadow. When the vessel finally stopped, Jaren sat stunned in the silence, his hands trembling on the controls. He was alive. Barely. The diagnostic readout told him everything he didn't want to know. Main drive, destroyed. Communication array, offline. Life support, 48 hours maximum. He had no way to call for help and no way to leave. Jaren gathered what supplies he could carry and stepped out into the alien landscape. Twin suns hung low on the horizon, casting long shadows across crystalline flowers that chimed softly in the breeze. Beautiful, he thought grimly, but beauty wouldn't keep him alive. He'd walked maybe an hour when he saw them. 3 figures emerged from a grove of silver-barked trees, moving with fluid grace. As they approached, Jaren's breath caught. They were humanoid, but distinctly alien skin bearing subtle iridescent patterns that shifted in the fading light, hair that seemed to move with its own energy. The tallest wore armor of an organic material he didn't recognize. The second carried what appeared to be medical supplies. The third held a device that pulsed with soft light. Do not fear, the armored one said. And impossibly, he understood her. She touched a medallion at her throat. Translation matrix. You are injured? My ship. I crashed. I need help. Please, I just need somewhere safe. The 3 women exchanged glances, something unspoken passing between them. The healer stepped forward, her expression gentle. You have found safety, traveler. Come, our dwelling is near. We will care for you. The scholar smiled, an enigmatic curve of her lips. Yes, we will care for you very well indeed. Jaren, exhausted and desperate, followed them into the deepening twilight, unaware that care meant something far more profound in their culture than he could have imagined. The dwelling was carved into a massive crystalline formation, its interior warm and filled with bioluminescent light. Jaren set down his pack as the 3 women moved around him with practiced coordination. I'm Jaren, he offered, trying to establish some normalcy. Merchant pilot. Or I was, anyway. The warrior inclined her head. I am Lyrics, shield of this household. This is Seraphel, our healer, and Valora, keeper of knowledge. Seraphel guided him to a low-cushioned platform. Your injuries first. Her touch was impossibly gentle as she examined the gash on his shoulder, her fingers leaving trails of warmth. This will heal quickly with our methods. As she applied a salve that tingled and numbed simultaneously, Valora brought him water in a cup that seemed grown rather than made. You arrived during the claiming moon, she said, her eyes studying him with unnerving intensity. Auspicious timing. Claiming moon? Jaren asked, accepting the water gratefully. A time when bonds are formed, Lyrics explained, removing her armor to reveal a fitted garment beneath. When protection is offered and accepted. You asked for safety, Jaren Voss. We offer the bonding ritual, our strongest form of sanctuary. That's generous, Jaren said, relief flooding through him. Some kind of diplomatic ceremony, perhaps. I'm grateful for any help. Seraphel's hands moved to his chest, ostensibly checking for more injuries, but her touch lingered. The ritual requires openness, trust, connection. Of course, Jaren agreed, though something in the air had shifted. The way they looked at him, the careful way they moved closer. Valora sat beside him, her knee touching his. In our culture, 3 is the sacred number. Balance, strength, wisdom, compassion. Her hand rested on his arm. The bonding joins us, protects the one who seeks shelter. Joins? Jaren's voice came out rougher than intended. Lyrics knelt before him, her eyes intense. Mind, body, spirit. We offer all to you, and you to us. The ritual must be completed before dawn, or the bond cannot form. Understanding began to dawn, along with a flutter of nervous anticipation. This isn't just symbolic, is it? Seraphel's lips brushed his ear. Nothing about this is symbolic, traveler. We offer you safety, yes, but we ask for intimacy in return. True intimacy. Valora's fingers traced patterns on his skin. Do you accept our offer, Jaren Voss? Will you let us claim you for this night? His heart pounded. He'd come seeking shelter and found 3 stunning women offering something far more profound. Every logical thought said this was too much, too fast. But the way they looked at him, the genuine warmth beneath their desire, I accept, he whispered. Lyrics smiled, fierce and beautiful. Then let the bonding begin. Lyrics moved first. Her warrior's confidence evident as she cupped his face. We begin with fire, she murmured, and kissed him with an intensity that stole his breath. Her lips were warm, tasting of something sweet and foreign. And Jaren found himself responding with equal passion. She pressed against him, guiding him back against the cushions, her body a perfect weight above him. Do not hold back, she whispered against his mouth. We want all of you. Her kisses traveled down his neck as skilled hands removed his clothing. Every touch was deliberate, claiming. When she moved against him, skin to skin, Jaren gasped at the sensation, her body warmer than human, the iridescent patterns on her skin seeming to pulse with shared heartbeat. Lyrics, he breathed, his hands exploring the curves of her waist, the strength in her shoulders. She moved with him in a rhythm that felt ancient, primal, her breath coming in soft gasps that matched his own. When their passion peaked, she held him close, fierce and protective. You are mine to defend now, she whispered. I feel you in my blood. Sorfel came to him next, her approach gentler but no less intense. She straddled his hips, her hair falling around them like a curtain. Where she is fire, I am water, she said softly, and kissed him with tender exploration. Her touch was healing in ways beyond the physical. As their bodies joined, Jaren felt a strange emotional opening, as if barriers he'd built for years were dissolving. Sorfel moved slowly, savoring every moment, her eyes locked with his. I feel your loneliness, she whispered, touching his face. Let me fill it. Their coupling was unhurried, deeply intimate. She taught him the sensitive places on her body, showed him how her people expressed pleasure through touch and breath. When she cried out softly, pressing her forehead to his, Jaren felt tears on his cheeks, hers or his. He couldn't tell. Finally, Valora approached, her scholar's mind evident in how she studied his responses. The mind is our greatest pleasure center, she said, settling beside him and drawing him close. Let me show you, she whispered words in her language, the translation matrix rendering them as poetry, philosophy, promises. Her kisses were intellectual puzzles solved by sensation. As their bodies moved together, she engaged him in conversation, asking what he felt, what he wanted, building anticipation through words, and withholding doubt when she finally allowed them both release. Jaren understood. She'd mapped his desire like a star chart, finding every constellation of pleasure. As dawn approached, the 3 women held him between them, their bodies warm and close. The bond is sealed, Valora murmured. Jaren, exhausted and overwhelmed, felt something profound settle in his chest. He'd sought safety and found so much more. Morning light filtered through the crystalline walls, casting rainbow patterns across tangled limbs. Jaren woke slowly, awareness returning with the warmth of 3 bodies pressed against him. Lyrics had one arm draped possessively across his chest, Sorfel's head rested on his shoulder, and Valora's fingers were intertwined with his. The weight of what had happened settled over him, not with regret, but with unexpected peace. Sorfel stirred first, her eyes opening to meet his. She smiled, soft and genuine, and pressed a kiss to his shoulder. How do you feel? Different, Jaren admitted. Connected. Is that the bond? Yes, Valora stretched languidly, her hand tracing idle patterns on his arm. You carry part of us now, as we carry part of you. It's not mere sentiment, it's biological, emotional, spiritual. Lyrics sat up, her warrior's instincts never fully asleep. Which means you are ours to protect, and we are yours. She looked at him seriously. This is permanent, Jaren Voss. The bond does not break. The implications crashed over him. Permanent, I didn't realize. Would you undo it if you could? Sorfel asked quietly, vulnerability flickering across her features. Jaren looked at each of them, fierce. Lyrics, compassionate Seraphel, brilliant Valora. In one night they'd given him more genuine connection than he'd felt in years of wandering the trade routes alone. No, he said honestly, I wouldn't. Relief and joy bloomed across their faces. Over breakfast, strange fruits and warm grain that tasted like honey. They explained the reality of his situation. The Saranine wasn't as peaceful as it appeared. Raiders from a dying system had been testing their defenses for months, seeking to plunder resources and capture inhabitants. Our settlement has natural shielding from the crystalline formations, Valora explained. But it's not enough. We need better early warning systems, defensive capabilities. Your ship, Lyrics said. Looking at Jaren with hope, Valora examined the wreckage while you slept. The weapons systems are salvageable. The sensor ray could be repurposed. Jaren's mind immediately began working through possibilities. I could integrate them into your existing defenses. Create a perimeter detection grid, maybe even automated turrets for the outer boundaries. You would do this? Seraphel asked. Make this place your home? Make us your home? He reached for her hand, then extended his other to Lyrics and Valora. I came here by accident, looking for safety. But maybe, he smiled, feeling certainty bloom in his chest. Maybe this is where I was supposed to end up all along. Lyrics kissed him hard and quick. Then we defend our home together. The day passed in planning and action. Jaren worked alongside Valora at the crash site, her knowledge of their technology meshing perfectly with his understanding of human systems. Seraphel brought them food and water, staying close, her presence a constant comfort. That evening, as twin suns set again, Lyrics pulled him into a passionate embrace that led them back to the cushions. Seraphel joined them, then Valora, and Jaren learned that the bonding wasn't just a single night, it was a beginning. 6 weeks transformed everything. Jaren stood at the perimeter of the settlement, watching his integrated defense grid flicker to life. Salvaged sensors from the Meridians, Hope now networked with the Saran crystal technology, creating a detection system that could spot approaching vessels from 3 planetary diameters away. It's beautiful, Valora said beside him, her hand finding his. You've made us safer than we've been in generations. We made us safer, Jaren corrected. I couldn't have done it without your knowledge of the crystalline matrices. She leaned against him, comfortable and affectionate. These small touches had become natural, a hand on his back as they worked, stolen kisses between tasks, the way they gravitated toward each other throughout the day. Lyrics approached from the training grounds, sweat glistening on her skin. She'd been teaching him their combat techniques, insisting that if he was part of their household, he needed to defend himself. The outer turrets are calibrated, she reported, then grinned. And you were right, the automated targeting is far superior to manual. I have my moments. He caught her round the waist, pulling her in for a kiss that she returned with enthusiasm. Get a dwelling, called one of the passing settlement guards, but her tone was amused. The community had accepted Jaren quickly, curious about the bonded human who'd literally fallen from the sky. Seraphel emerged from the healing center, her face lighting up when she saw them. There you are. I've been looking everywhere. She joined their embrace naturally, the 4 of them standing together as the sun set. The council wants to host a celebration tonight, to honor the new defenses and us. Jaren asked. Our bonding, Valora explained. It's official now, recognized by the settlement. You're no longer an outsider, Jaren. You're one of us. You're home. Home. The word resonated through him with profound truth. His old life of lonely cargo runs and transient connections felt like something from another existence. Here, surrounded by these 3 extraordinary women, contributing to a community, building something lasting, this was what he'd been searching for without knowing it. That night, the celebration filled the central plaza with music and light. Jaren danced with each of his bondmates, laughing as they taught him their traditional movements. Later, they retreated to their dwelling, to the cushions that had witnessed their first joining. I love you, Seraphel whispered as she kissed him softly. All of you. And I you, Valora added, her usual intellectual reserve melting into pure emotion. Lyrics cupped his face, her fierce warrior's heart bare in her eyes. You came seeking safety, Jaren Voss, but you gave us something greater, you gave us yourself. As they moved together in the dance they'd perfected over weeks of passion and tenderness, Jaren marveled at the journey. A crash landing that should have been his end had become his truest beginning. Outside, his defense systems kept watch over the settlement. Inside, wrapped in the arms of 3 women who'd claimed him body and soul, Jaren Voss finally understood what it meant to belong. The stars that had been his lonely companions for so long now shone down on his home and on a love he'd never dared to imagine. The end.